Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the Houston Astros have DFA'd former 17th overall pick from the 2016 MLB draft, Forrest Whitley. This is not a huge surprise with the way that Whitley has struggled this year, especially recently in the last couple of outings he's had. Was a big part of the two outbursts that the Tampa Bay Rays had against the Astros. In those two games where the Astros, got crushed 16-3 and 13-3 in that Tampa Bay series. Funny thing is, they got outscored by like 20 in that series, or 21 runs in that series, and still ended up splitting this series, which is crazy. But he was a big part of that struggle right there. And this year, on 7-1 has given up 10 earned runs with 2 home runs, given up six walks, and a total of 8 strikeouts. A lot of that damage has been given up against the Rays. I think it's like 9 or 8 of his 10 earned runs this year that he's given up. I believe it's 9. Were all given up against Tampa Bay Rays. So, and he had pitched like 2 or 3 innings. He's pitched like 2 or 3 innings this year that are not against Tampa, and no damage, or like 1 earned run given up at the most. And so Tampa Bay has been a real struggle for him. In AAA this year, Whitley hasn't been terrible compared to how bad he's been in the major leagues. He was really good for the Astros, last year in AAA with a 1.89 ERA in AAA. And so, it was amazing last year in AAA. That's what finally got him to get his first call up in 2024 for a guy that was a first round pick in 2016. That's not good. And was amazing this year in spring training, which is what led him to being a favorite to make the roster for the Astros opening day roster, but then got injured before the opening weekend. Did not make the opening day roster because of that. Then came back, got injured again, and then came back from that second injury of the season, and that's when we saw some really bad performances. 3 really bad performances against the Tampa Bay Rays. 1 on the road, 2 at home. And so obviously those 3 performances were really bad. So, but just the Astros gave him a lot of chances. There was a lot of hiccups. There was a lot of injuries, 2 this year. Tommy John surgery in 2021. There was a 50-game suspension in 2018 for drug use. And this is a guy that had a lot of potential. Still so young, even though he was drafted in 2016. He's 27 years old, and he had so much potential being drafted. I saw someone say today on Astros social media, this is seeing what Paul Skeens is doing now for the Pirates is what I thought Forrest Whitley was going to be, which is what someone said on Astros Twitter today. I don't know if that's what I thought, but I remember I was in 6th grade in 2000. It was the beginning of 2020. And the Astros pitchers had some injuries. This was before we knew the season was going to be canceled. This is spring training is going on in 2020. And I thought there was a shot Whitley would make the roster and be in the starting rotation. This was before an injury. He was pitching a little bit in spring training in 2020. I remember being in, this is crazy, but I remember being in science class with one of my friends, and we were so bored we started talking about the Astros. Like one of my only friends I had that I had that was into baseball, like one of 3, in the 6th grade. And so, we were talking about like how much of a stud Forrest Whitley is going to be, and like how he was going to be so huge for the rotation. And funny enough, he didn't make his major league debut until 4 years later. It wasn't even a start. It was not even pitching 1 inning. And then you see all the struggles this year he's had. So, it's tough to see the struggles he's had this year. And I think the Astros have finally had enough. There's a chance he could end up back with AAA. I mean, you see guys get DFA'd and then they end up back on the AAA squad if the team is not able to trade him or no one claims him. So I guess there is a chance you could see him in Astros uniform again, but even if he gets back to AAA with the Astros, no one claims him, no one trades for him. I would think it'd be a long time until the Astros would bring him back up after the struggles he's had this year. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and peace out.